If you don't think this game sucks, okay, this is kind of fun. Never mind, this game sucks. When it comes to video games, sometimes I seem to have premonitions that come to me about a video game franchise. The first time I experienced this kind of premonition was with Call of Duty. I used to keep up with Call of Duty. I used to buy every single game that would come out every year. But then Call of Duty Ghosts came out, and I was like, this is getting old. I'm out. And look at how that turned out.
Like that.
Oh, Iron.
He's cheating. Come on, man.
Level 36.
He's cheating.
Perfectly centered, locks on.
Yeah.
I used to keep up with Assassin's Creed, but then Assassin's Creed Unity just lost me. I used to be a Kingdom Hearts fanboy, and look at how that turned out with Kingdom Hearts 3. And I even made a video discussing my thoughts about how I felt about the game.
I hate this game. Kingdom Hearts 3 was one of the biggest messes in gaming history.
But you know what? Those games that I've just mentioned, those franchises actually try to innovate on their gameplay at least a little bit. Overwatch 2 doesn't do any of that. This is the same game that I've been playing since 2016. In fact, I dropped the game in 2016 because I didn't like it. But I at least came back with an open mindset to think, oh, you know, this time Overwatch 2 might be a little different. Maybe I'll like it. Maybe I was just too young to understand Overwatch. No, Overwatch 2 is the quintessential example of what's wrong with modern gaming. If you think this game is fun, then that's fine. And if you think that this game was fun back then, that's also fine. I need to state what I think is wrong with this this franchise. First of all, I think it's a no-brainer that Overwatch 2 is a marketing tactic by Activision Blizzard to be able to bring back hype for the game again. And while that's not a bad thing, it might as well just be an expansion pack to the original game and not an actual sequel, because it's not. So they made a few changes and slapped a 2 on it. That's like me opening up my own burger restaurant and my whole brand is selling regular cheeseburgers, and all of a sudden I decide to make an announcement that I'm selling double cheeseburgers. I put a special on it and I make an announcement and I surround hype around it. But then I over exaggerate that hype, even though a double cheeseburger most likely tastes like a single cheeseburger. The taste and content of a double cheeseburger is the same as a single cheeseburger. It's just an extra patty. And that's it. Maybe extra cheese, I don't know, but you get the idea. Overwatch 2 is selling you the idea that it's new and fresh when it really isn't. Now, I wasn't around the game long enough to have a complete perspective on Overwatch 1, but from what I've heard, a lot of people really enjoyed that game and there was a dedicated fan base to it. I personally did not like it for my own reasons, as I'll probably explain why later. But for now, what I really care about explaining is my distaste with the game so far. Overwatch 2 is poised as free to play as probably any other live service game that gets released nowadays. That being said, I really don't see the point in Activision Blizzard adopting this kind of model. And certainly there's so many people playing this game based on their own nostalgia of the first game. I'm sorry, I mean, it's kind of true. And guess what? Now this allows for the company to be able to sell cosmetics and sell battle passes. And sure, I guess that's not a problem because nowadays that's the norm for live service games, right? But the problem is that Overwatch, or at least Activision Blizzard, wants to make money. And in doing so, they lock characters behind the battle pass. How stupid is that? Now, let's take a look at Dan Bilzerian, who is obviously a con man himself and does not realize that he's getting conned by Activision Blizzard because he is a con man himself. Because con men think that their product is good when it's not. So when a con man sees another product of another con man, they think that product is good too, because they themselves create bad products which they think is good. Currently, as of this video, Overwatch 2 is the most streamed game on Twitch. What does that mean? That means a lot of streamers are currently playing this game and buying into the fallacy that this game is worth their time and money. But Ninja Bread, why are you complaining, man? Let people play whatever they want. Let them play what they want, man. Because it's become this never-ending cycle of video game companies treating their AAA titles as cash grabs. And we keep falling for it. And I know this isn't necessarily the first title that this has happened with. But the fact that Overwatch 2 can get away with the sheer lack of content that they put out is very telling that video games are not going to go in a great direction if we keep enabling this. Video game companies will keep milking the cow until it runs dry. And when it does run dry, they will find another cow to milk. It's fine if you think Overwatch 2 is fun and worth your time. The problem is that the most you're going to get out of the game itself, or any video game, is determined on the video game company or developer and how much passion they decide to put into the game. Because video games are an art form. They're like music. You listen to music, and there's something about that particular piece of music that emotionally resonates with you. And the reason why it might emotionally resonate with you is because the music is coming out of the person or band or artist that created that music. You feel the same emotions and feelings that that artist probably felt when writing the song or performing it. As I've come to find in the past few years of questionable video game titles that have been released, you can definitely tell if a game is soulless. It happened with Kingdom Hearts 3, it happened with Halo Infinite, which I really despise, by the way. It's hard for me to remember a time where I felt like a game really sucked the living soul out of my life, because the modern gaming trends never really happened back then. AAA games have become the pop music of the video game industry, and it's absolutely disgusting. So why is it that I hate this game? That's how long it took me and this other guy to kill Lucio. I don't like this game. I still don't have like an ending sequence yet planned out. I've used a couple in the past, but I don't have an official one, so that'll come at some point.